Okay guys, I got a couple things to talk about today as far as the fourth step. We're getting into the second book, 7th and 8th and 9th lesson talk about the fourth step, which is a real important step in our recovery. It's also got a reputation for being the hardest, the drudgiest kind of step, but it doesn't have to be that. It is a powerful experience for us. But it's a positive experience. So don't look at it as a tough thing or a bad thing. Look at it as a real opportunity to go deep and find the healing that we're all looking for. Fourth step, which is writing down, making an honest, deep inventory of the things that have happened to us in the past. Crucial because it gets into the wounds of childhood. It gets into the 7 basic desires that we all have, 7 needs that we all have that may or may not have been met, may have been met inappropriately. And because of those wounds and because of the lack of those needs being met, we try to meet them in inappropriate ways, acting out in our addictions, our habits, our hurts, our hang-ups. So it's important to get those old things, those wounds, to the surface so that we can find healing for those. And then we don't have to go back to acting out over and over again. All right, so let's talk about the inventory. I'm going to get you, I've already emailed them to Mike, and if you need other copies, talk to him. He can make copies. If you don't get them, let me know. We got to get you these worksheets because they'll be very helpful in doing your fourth step in a organized fashion. Because you don't want to go through this and then look back and go, oh, I forgot this, I forgot this, I forgot this. You want to get it as complete as you can when you go through it this time. Not that you won't go through it again. I've gone through my fourth step several times in my recovery 8 years, and God often reveals some new things that I didn't get the first time or the second time. But each time you go through it, you want to be as thorough and complete as you can be. So there are 3 pages that apply to this. Actually, 3 pages for now. Then I'm going to do a second, shorter video on this 4th page, so we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so the 3 pages are, number 1, an inventory worksheet. All right, the worksheet has 5 columns, and your lesson workbook will refer to this over and over again. The workbook, as you go through the lessons, as we go through the lessons, we're going through a lesson about once a week, but this work may take several weeks to really finish it. So you'll keep working on these worksheets as you do your inventory. And then you can use these worksheets to do your 5th step down the road a little bit. So we'll get to that. All right, so the inventory worksheet has 5 columns. The first column over here is things that happened. These are people who we harmed by our actions or words, and people who harmed us in their actions and words. And you're going to list a person for each event, each thing that happened. So you're not just listing one person. One person may have had several offenses, or we may have injured one person over and over again. So each event gets a line. So the person that we hurt or who hurt us. Column 2 is the cause. That is the action that happened, the specific thing that happened. So the first column is the person, second person is the event, the thing that injured us or that we injured them. What happened? Short description, but enough to remind yourself of what happened. You want to dig into this. You want to relive the feelings, and we'll put feelings in column 4. Feelings are an important piece of this. That's where a lot of the memory, a lot of the wounds stick to us, is through our feelings. Column 3 is the effect. This is, what did that action do to you? That's a place where you can put feelings too. What was your experience from that event? What do you remember about that? What did it do to you? What did it make you feel? How did it damage you? Column 4 is the damage. Another way to look at the damage. How did it impact you socially? How did it impact you in your security in your life? One of our basic needs is to have safety. So we got to have, how did it impact your feeling of safety? How did it impact you sexually? So any part of your life that was impacted, write that in there. Column 5 is my part, is the name of the column. And that is, what did we do to impact this? In this event, way back here in column 2, what was my part in that? Now there can be times when we were the guilty party. I did this to that person. There are other times when we didn't have any responsibility in it. Somebody did that to us. Like, for instance, being sexually abused. If you were sexually abused, write that in here, but write, I didn't do that. I didn't do anything to deserve that. Other times, people did something to us, but we instigated it. We kind of had a role in starting that. And other times, we did the offense. My part was I did the offense. So, all right, so you're going to go through that. You're going to probably need several pages of this. So ask Mike or whoever's making the copies for as many copies of that as you need. That's one page. Page 2 is a positive thing. We want to keep our inventory balanced because you know what? Your life, as bad as it may have been, my life, as bad as I was not all negative. There were some things we did well. So we want to keep it balanced and do the same thing. What are some people, activities, impacts? What did we do as part of this? The columns are labeled pretty clearly here, but positive things. For instance, I helped lead the youth group. All right, so that was positive. I had positive impact in some people's lives. I raised my kids. I provided a home and a living for my family. So there's some positive things we did. I have taken care of my mom. All right, so there's positive things we did. So the columns are what person has been impacted by a positive part of my life, what specific action took place, what was the effect, how did you feel about that? Again, we're getting into feelings. You want to get feelings out there. And we're going to talk some more about feelings in the next video, so keep tab on that. What good came from that? How did somebody else benefit from that good action that I did? And then the final column is how have I used this experience to enhance the lives of others? How has it impacted people's character, their behavior, their choices? How have I used it as a testimony? Each of us has a testimony, and as we get healed from some of these negative things, God will use that in positive ways. All right, the third page you're going to get is a sample page. So it takes the initial page we had, the inventory worksheet, and it gives some examples that somebody has filled in for us. So you can read through those to get some ideas to prime the pump of how you're going to fill this in. So as you work with your accountability team and particularly your sponsor, you're going to bounce these ideas off and encourage your sponsor to look for things where you may have missed some things, to go deeper, to spell out more of the feelings. You want to go deep on this. Do not gloss through it. You know, you've heard us say you get out of it what you put into your recovery work. This is key in that. Dig deep. Do not rush through it. Do not gloss over it. Bounce ideas off your sponsor to get some help in going deeper. This is where the healing has to go. So let me just pray with you for a minute. Father, I just pray for my brothers as they're working on their inventory. May they have the courage to go deep. May they have the patience to work on it. May you give them grace and reveal to them the things they need to work through on this. Lord, we just lift this up to you and thank you that you're going to bring great good out of this. All right, I'm going to hit stop on this recording, and then we're going to do a separate recording on feelings. So bear with me as I walk in and out of the camera here.